Alright guys, here we go. I'm the Silvered Grunion, and here we are going to play some Spider-Man Arcade. And who else can we be but Spider-Man himself? As we now swing into action. The Scorpion will be our first target as we battle down the streets of New York City. The superhero known as Spider-Man. And there's not much to say about this game, really. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up from the early 90s, so that's all you can really say about it. But it is good. It's got some different things going on for it, and we'll get into that as we go along here. But thank you very much for joining me here, and if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow Silvered Grunion. And that will be my only plug throughout this entire video, so thank you for listening. Now I must focus all of my energy on saving the world, single-handedly, as your friendly neighborhood spider clashes with some of the most iconic villains in the history of Marvel Comics. And here's the first one right here, the Scorpion. While he may not be known as one of the toughest men, I will say this. Oh, here comes Venom. I was going to say that it is admirable that the Scorpion wears his underwear on the outside of his pants. I've been trying to pull that off for years to no avail. So, despite the fact that he's a dastardly fiend that must be defeated, I give him all the props in the world for fashion. Facing off against Venom this early in the game, it really makes you wonder who the other villains are going to be. I've never played this before, so we're going to find out. And he is a tough customer. Is one Eddie Brock, a.k.a. Venom. Jumping knee, almost a V-trigger, reminiscent of Kenny Omega. Perhaps that's who is truly behind the veil of Venom. It seems now we've defeated him, and holy crap. Alright, well I told you before, this game does have some different mechanics, and this is one of the ones I was talking about, where the screen will kind of back out, and you'll kind of get a different perspective, and the gameplay changes a little bit, I'm noticing here. Like I said, I've never played this before, but I have seen different screenshots, and watched a couple different reviews. Getting ready for this playthrough, I wanted to have some kind of knowledge of the game, so I don't totally entirely suck. Although no promises, and Venom has returned, and holy crap is he huge. It's like his entire body took Viagra. Was that off? Yeah, that wasn't nice. Oh well, we're live. You may. My bad humor is giving me allergies. As we have to climb up here and take out Venom once and for all. He's not actually that hard. You just got to keep spamming the attack button, and it seems like his energy goes down fairly quickly. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, or so they say. There's a giant helicopter, and Spider-Man, fearless, a fearless individual, climbs onto the bottom, hitches a ride, and will now continue his journey on the rooftop of Manhattan. I'm not sure, and I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me what a dipstick I am, but I don't know who these villains are. I'm sure they are the Marvel equivalent of the Foot Clan. A bunch of nameless henchmen, hell-bent on the destruction of every superhero that stands in the way of malcontent and injustice. In this case, your friendly neighborhood spider, Spider-Man. And what the hell is this? Okay, I get the ninjas. I get that. This dude looks like he's straight out of Abercrombie and Fitch. There you go. Whoop his ass. Well, it was the early 90s. Okay, here we go. That's Abercrombie and Fitch. Of all the villains you could possibly put into an arcade game of this nature, why would you... I mean, okay. I feel like I'm fighting the Backstreet Boys, or NSYNC. And all I can say is, bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye. No, not a good joke. I'm trying, folks. What can I tell you? The effect of the Sorcerer's Stone has worn off. Okay. Insert Harry Potter joke here. And now we're facing off against Venom. And it looks like Dwight Schrute from The Office. Several clones. Perhaps created from beet juice. And now here comes White Michael Jackson. The villains are very strange in this game. I'm just saying, it's even for a 90s cliche, that's just kind of weird. I feel like these guys are going to do a moonwalk and try to get me to buy Pepsi. Except for Venom. Venom's pretty badass. Every video game I've ever played, Venom is done very well. And here is no exception. As we bring him down, hopefully, to justice. And thank goodness for Unlimited continues, folks. We will make it to the end of the game, and hopefully I won't embarrass myself too much. Oh my, he's naked. He's naked. We are 7 minutes and 3 seconds into this video, and there's been a naked man. Laying there on the streets of Manhattan, the unmitigated gall of Eddie Brock to not wear clothing underneath his Venom suit. All right, here we go. Chapter 2. It looks like we're going after the Kingpin, but first up, we got to take on the Green Goblin. More of the same villains, I'm noticing. Like I said, folks, this game was an early 90s arcade game that was designed to munch up quarters and to just take up a bunch of time. And from what I've read, it actually was a very successful game, although I never remember seeing it in the arcade when I was a kid. And the big fat dude looks like he's ripped straight out of the Ninja Turtles. Although this game was not made by Konami, it is certainly taking influences from such classic games as Turtles in Time and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1989. Which, by the way, are two of my favorite arcade games, and they were just announced for a home port, a home cabinet by Arcade 1-Up. So, sayonara to $350 out of my account, because I've got to have those. And I would not be surprised if eventually this kind of game, Spiderman, gets a release as well. These are the kind of games that really just translate well to a home arcade cabinet. And I'm not sure how much fun it is for you to watch me play this, but I'm honestly having a good time. And I would love to have this on an actual arcade cabinet in my living room, my kitchen, or perhaps my bathroom. Oh boy, it's the Lizard. Lizzie Borden himself. Dr. Kurt Connors has mutated into a lizard-like form and is ready to destroy his prize pupil, Spider-Man, aka Peter Parker. I have not been able to get the controls down, even though it's a 2-button system. I can't quite get that swing as well as I'd like to. But that's alright, we'll keep going. The drop kick is working just fine. But don't forget, we still have to look out for the Green Goblin, who we saw at the offset of this particular level. Kurt Connors, the lizard, is a fast individual, strong and powerful, but he does not have the resolve, nor the moral fiber of one Spider-Man. Oh, what the hell was that? All right. Things are about to get weird. This game was made by Sega, and it did not get a home port of any kind, as far as I know. Although Sega did release several Spider-Man games for the home consoles. My favorite one being Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin on the Sega Genesis. I did have that as a kid, and it was a game I've never defeated, even to this day, but I can faithfully get to the end of the game and the final boss almost every time. It's one of the best games on the Sega Genesis console, and I was very bummed out to find out it would not be on the Sega Genesis Mini. So let's hope there's a way to add games, wink wink. That will definitely be one of the first games that I add to my Sega Genesis Mini, if that is indeed a possibility. And yes, I do actually own the original cartridge. Sadly, I don't own all of the games that I had as a kid, but it is one that I still, for some reason, I still have that. Even though I have not had my Sega Genesis for over at least 15 years. I held on to that game in hopes that one day I would play it again and finally beat it. Thus ending a chapter of my somewhat inactive childhood life. Oh yes, Silvered Grunion, you were a bit chubby, and you didn't go outside very much, and you had no tan. Flash forward to today, and a lot of things have not changed. However, I like to think I'm a bit more exercisable. I do believe that I do keep in shape fairly well, and perhaps that will help me on my journey here and later on my journey to defeating the Kingpin in the Sega Genesis classic Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin, which this game is making me wish that I was playing right now. Because, man, this is fun, but it is kind of monotonous here. I'm not sure how many levels we've got to go, but we are in it for the long haul, folks. We are going to do this. We are in it to win it, and we are going to see it to the end. So thank you for joining me here. Again, I am the Silvered Grunion, and I thank you very much for tuning in. The premise of this game is actually really good, and the mechanics are good. It's just it's the same villains over and over again. This time it's Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. And I'm kicking the living crap out of the both of them. And I'm not sure you can hear it. I'm actually kind of hoping you can't. It's very eerie, but every time you hit these guys, they make a very loud and shrill shrieking sound, and it's getting very tiresome, if I may say so myself. All right, got some barrels here. Okay, I'm taking damage, so I'm not... And I hit my microphone. I'm going to try not to hit these things. Maybe I'll go around. Here we go. Hey, what's up, Bebop? Where's Rocksteady? I mean, really, who wears a vest without a shirt? Even in the night, folks, I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, some of you, I'm sure, were around in the 90s, but if you weren't, if you were born in the late 2000s, early 2000s, whenever, please do not think that this game is indicative of what 90s life was like. People were not walking around with vests and no shirts and gold chains with their belly hanging out. It wasn't a thing. It's not a thing now. It was not a thing then. I'm not even sure that ever happened in the comic book, so I'm not really sure why it's here. Holy crap. And it's the Green Goblin. And now we're going to kick his ass. The boss fights here are actually kind of fun. I do like the way the characters look. It seems like they've really spent a lot of detail in terms of getting the Spider-Man universe properly represented. Alright, we beat the Goblin, but now he's on his glider, so it's going to be a second round fight. I imagine we have to knock him off his glider without taking too much damage from the pumpkin bombs. Yes, folks, that's what they're called. I like the background there. You got the aircraft just going down. The blimp, if you will. And the Goblin is a lot harder to catch than I initially expected. I'm tempted to switch characters. I was tempted right there, but I'm going to stick with Spider-Man because we are playing Spider-Man, so we might as well play as Spider-Man. Come on. There we go. Right in the face. We are taking a lot of damage. I can only imagine how much money people paid in the arcades when trying to fight this boss. You may. I know, it's unprofessional to cough on the air, and normally I have a button that I can push that mutes the audio for just a moment, but I'm kind of in the middle of what I would consider what is becoming a very irritating boss fight. It wouldn't be so bad, but man, there we go. His damage, he does not take much damage at all. Come on, one more time. Oh, there we go. And really, round 3, okay. Please do not get back on the glider. Let this be the end of this battle here. There we go. That was okay. And there you have it, folks. Level 2. I need a beverage here. Well, folks, there's a reason this is called Recovering from Cancer. Because it was in my neck and my throat, so... Sorry, every so often I may not sound perfect, but I'm trying. And that's the entire purpose of this channel, of these videos, is I don't really care about views. I don't care about money. I simply wanted to prove to myself and to anybody who doubted that I could still talk, that I could still do what I like to do. And when I got cancer, my biggest regret, when they told me that I may never speak again, my biggest regret was that I would never... at the time, I was like, I would never do a Let's Play series. I would never do a YouTube series. And that's just something I always wanted to do. I've spent the past 15 years of my life doing voice work and voiceovers, but I never really had my own series. I was always doing things for other people. So I made a promise to myself that if there was a way that I could speak, if somehow I would find a way to overcome the odds and regain my voice even at any level whatsoever, that I would do my best and start doing things that I enjoy, like these kind of videos, where we play games like this, and I bitch about them. So here we are. I try not to mention the cancer too much, but really, there's not a lot to talk about here. I'm having a great time, don't get me wrong. The game is fun. And we're going to fight the Scorpion again, but he's off screen. He's twirling his tail. Please tell me it didn't glitch. Okay, here he comes. This is a much harder game than I thought it would be. It's right up there with a game. I was expecting something along the lines of Turtles in Time in terms of challenge, but I would dare say this is actually right up there with Final Fight. And that's not a compliment, folks. That's one of the hardest arcade games to play legitimately, of course. Here, we're able to have unlimited continues, but can you imagine if you had to pay 50 cents or even $1 every time you died? You could buy an actual arcade cabinet with the money by the time you're done. And also to my point here, folks, about the not having a lot to talk about, how many times have we fought the Scorpion? I feel like this is maybe the third time? The second, maybe? The point is, there's a lot of characters in the MCU. Well, I guess it wouldn't be the MCU back then. I guess there's a lot of characters in the Marvel comic universe. There you go, MCU. Suck it. And I'm kind of tired of fighting the same one. The henchmen I get, but can we get some different bosses? Please. Oh, I just realized, am I going to have to fight the Green Goblin again? We've already fought Venom twice. We fought the Lizard twice. We fought the Scorpion twice. Oh, I'm going to have to fight. I'm going to have to fight the Green Goblin again in that stupid glider. Great. By the way, folks, a random fact here that as we speak right here and right now, I'm being told that Spider-Man 4 is trending on Twitter. Oh, it's Dr. Octopus. More on that in 1 second. Let's fight Doc Ock. Holy crap. Now, Dr. Octopus is one of the best villains in the Spider-Man universe, and it's kind of sucky that he was a mid-level boss that was easily defeated, and from far distance, didn't even get a good look at Dr. Octavius. Oh yeah, but back to what I was saying. Yes, Spider-Man 4 is trending worldwide as the #1 trend on Twitter, and I don't know why. There is no Spider-Man 4, but it does make me miss Tobey Maguire. All right, guys, there's the Kingpin as he runs away. They look like backup dancers for Michael Jackson. I'm just saying. I don't know what's going on here with these villains. Perhaps there's a dress code. The Kingpin does like people to dress up, I guess, so I guess we'll go with that. But then again, these guys have no shirts on. So really, come on, there's no consistency here. That's all I ask. Okay. I imagine this game would be fun to play with multiple players. I believe Hawkeye's in this game, and that'd be a fun team-up. Spider-Man and Hawkeye versus the world. However, for that to happen, I'd have to have 2 players. And anyone who knows me in real life knows that I am a miserable son of a bitch. So, don't have a lot of friends. And that's okay, because you know why? It means that when I have yogurt in my fridge, I don't have to share. And that's worth a lifetime of loneliness. As now, look at this. We take on the Sandman. Mr. Sandman, give me a dream. Give me some new villains that I've never seen. You liked that, didn't you? You laughed. Don't lie, you laughed. You've rolled your eyes about 5 or 6 times, but you laughed right there. There you go. I've always liked the Sandman. In fact, you know, I'm going to... Boy, here's where I lose followers. I actually liked Spider-Man 3, which featured the Sandman and featured Venom and featured the Hobgoblin as main villains. And a lot of people hated that. They felt it was all crammed in too much. But, you know, to be honest with you, I actually kind of enjoyed the movie. I thought for what it was, I mean, yeah, we did get emo Peter Parker, which I don't think any of us will ever forgive our eyes for seeing. But in fairness, it did its job. It told a story. The narrative was great of the fallen hero who has to redeem himself, and then the villain who has to find his way back to the light. It was a good movie. Great movie, no, but a fitting end to a fairly decent trilogy of movies. Not to say that the current movies aren't good. In fact, I think Spider-Man's current rendition is one of the best I've seen, perhaps of all time, but only time will tell. He's yet to really build a full repertoire, a full resume. But I have no doubt that Tom Holland will play the part and play it well. For years to come. Sorry, I was in the middle of my thought there, and I just realized, holy crap, that's a lot of bad guys. And I was trying to get past them without fighting, and it didn't go so well. But yes, Tom Holland, I think for years to come, will play the role well. He played it well in the past movies so far. And he has brought justice and entertainment to the Spider-Man universe. So, cheers. I think that's the same helicopter we saw earlier. Oh boy, and there's the Hobgoblin. We were just talking about him. And he's probably going to be just like his father. Well, maybe not. Okay. Take out those, and now we gotta... Yep, gonna have to knock him off. Okay, well, you know what, though? It's not bad. Look, his life bar is going down fairly fast, so... Yeah, this is fine. This part is fun. I will give them credit. Whoever designed this boss fight knew exactly what they're doing. It's challenging. It's stimulating, but it's not aggressively and horribly difficult, which is something you want to stay away from even in an arcade game. As we blew his ass up. Kaboom! Oh, and the Kingpin with a cheap shot. And folks, this could be the final boss of the game. It feels a bit early, but the Kingpin, I do believe, is the main villain in this game, so... We've been playing for just about a half hour, so yeah, it could be. These games are not known for being overly long. They're more hard than they are long. That didn't sound right at all. Man, Kingpin is a beast. I love the character style, though. Whoever did Kingpin, he looks exactly as he does in the comics. In fact, this entire game, really, the style of this game looks like a comic book, and I'll give them credit for that. They really pulled it off. Those Sega people, they knew what they were doing. For a while. There we go, and the Kingpin is down for the count. Oh, no. But he's not the final boss, is he? No, because we saw those words momentarily on the screen. It seems like our main villain is going to be Dr. Doom. Doomsday. We have crash landed in Latveria. Isn't it Latveria? Did they spell that wrong? I'm pretty sure it's Latveria. That's why I stuttered, because it was spelled Latveria. No idea. Dr. Doom's Lair, the final level of the game. I totally forgot about Dr. Doom. That's a good final boss. I'm intrigued. I'm excited. And I'm ready for more. Again, folks, if you're just joining me here, I am the Silvered Grunion, and I thank you very much for joining me here as we play Spider-Man, the arcade game. And we are now on the final boss, the final level of the game, on our way to facing the final boss, which we just found out is the infamous Dr. Doom. And it's about to go down. Look at this. There's fire, there's Strange Ape Men, which, by the way, that's a new villain, so I'll take it. They walk like Vince McMahon, but... Like, seriously, they got their arms swinging like Vince McMahon in 1999. Spider-Man has no chance in hell. You're fired. Oh, it's the Lizard. Oh, of course. It's a 90s arcade game. And what would a 90s arcade game be without the classic trope of facing off against all the previous bosses in one final rush before you face the main villain? Take that, Kurt Connors. How dare you? Man, this is getting insane. It's kind of hard to see with all the flames there, but I'm not going to complain. I think it looks cool. There we go. And this should be the ending blow. What, that didn't look right. Ending blow indeed. There we go. No, one more. There he goes. Uh-oh. More platforming. And evil robots that shoot fire. And generic henchmen that I've had plenty of. I've had my fill. So we're going to skip as many of them as we can, because I just want to get to Doctor Doom. I'm excited for Doctor Doom, one of the most underutilized villains in the MCU, or the Fox movie franchises, whatever he's part of. He was not done to his fullest potential in any of the Fantastic Four movies. Although I think he was good. I just don't think he was done to his potential. So you're going to see some serious stuff when we get to Doctor Doom, because he's one sadistic and evil son of a bitch. I'm trying not to swear too much, but I'm sorry, folks. That's what he is. He's a no-good, rotten son of a bitch. Earlier, I was talking about how Arcade 1-Up has released, or is releasing, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade cabinet, and I failed to mention that actually the same day they also announced a Marvel Superheroes cabinet, which includes Marvel Superheroes, the fighting game, X-Men Children of the Atom, a great fighting game. If I'm not mistaken, it was the first fighting game using the Marvel characters. And here's the third one, a side-scrolling beat-em-up known as The Punisher. A very fun game with lots of different weapons and cool aesthetics, and I'm excited for that. So I'm surprised, actually, now that you mention it, I'm kind of surprised that this game, Spider-Man, was not on there, because it would have fit perfectly, but I'm kind of glad, because this is kind of a generic, it's fun, but it's generic, where The Punisher is renowned as one of the best side-scrolling beat-em-up superhero games ever made. And it never got a home port. Not even close. So Arcade 1-Up is doing great things. They also announced a Star Wars cabinet. The Atari versions of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I'm not sure I'll be spending any money on that one. It does look cool, though. It does. It's a bit before my time. And I know a couple other people have said the same thing. I was watching RGT85, cool guy, and he was mentioning the same thing. It's a cool cabinet, but it's we're talking some games, some very primitive games, and to pay over almost $400 or maybe even more to play some Atari games, I don't know. The nostalgia factor really has to be there for these kind of things, and For anything with the Atari, it was way before my time. I don't have that soft spot. And damn it, we have to fight the Green Goblin. Again. Come on, get on your glider. I know you're going. There you go. And here we go. I knew it was coming, folks. I said it earlier, and now it has come full circle. It has come to fruition. My premonition has become a definition of pain, as we now face off once again against the Green Goblin. I don't know why I said it like that. I felt like maybe if I said it differently, it would be less tedious. I could say it in my really menacing voice. And now we face off against the Green Goblin. That son of a bitch. And now I've sworn again. Damn it! And there again. You see what you made me do? He's not that bad, though. Here. Come on. There we go. Knocked his ass right off the glider. Now I'm gonna stick my fist down his throat with a vicious punch slider. No idea, folks. I've got the voice sometimes, but the dialogue, I don't know. Pick up some health. Alright, more villains. We are getting to the end, folks, I can tell you. I can feel it. And now it's time for another fight with the Sandman. Good old Sandy. Pecan Sandy, that's what they used to call him in high school. Probably not. He's gonna run away. There he is. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Punch him in the face. I'll tell you, Dr. Doom's got some pretty screwed up neighbors. If this is all the people you encounter while walking to his castle. I gotta say, this is reminiscent of my old neighborhood, which I promptly moved the hell out. Anyone that's ever been to Atlanta, Georgia, if you ever drive by Fulton Industrial, make sure the windows are rolled up and the car is locked. And you don't stop even for stoplights. Just go. It's worth the ticket. But that's what this is like. That's maybe Latveria. Maybe that's what Latveria is based on. Fulton Industrial Boulevard. No, that's not true. If that was the case, the Sandman be trying to give blowjobs. There we go. Now we got this. Now we got this weird castle aesthetic, but it's kind of cool. I was waiting for the knights in the background to come to life, or even the horse. That'd be some scary stuff, man. Scary, scary. Oh, there he is. We have reached the final boss of the game. It's Dr. Doom versus Spider-Man for world domination. Man, he is strong, though. Come on, fight me like a man. Gotta have your henchmen. Feel like I'm fighting in medieval times, man. What is this, a scene from the Cable Guy? Was that the movie with Jim Carrey? Yeah. Sorry, I screwed that joke up because I couldn't remember. Let me try that again. Come on, man, fight me. I feel like we're fighting in medieval times. What is this, a scene from the Cable Guy? Nah, it wasn't funny. This game has sucked the life and the humor out of me. But we promised we'd see it to the end, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So even Spider-Man walks like he's had enough of this shit. He's just like, oh, okay. He's kind of slumped over. He's like, oh, man, what a long day at work. I hope Mary Jane's got a chicken pot pie in the oven, because, damn, I am not cooking tonight. There we go. He's almost done. And there he goes. No. It was a robot. All right, I'll give them credit. I didn't see that coming. Where do I go? Oh, up. Okay. All right, so it looks like we got more to go. I need a sip of water. I'm sorry, I do. Before we continue, here we go. I do like these kind of games, though, because I can kind of play with one hand if I have to. Spiderman. Doesn't make it ideal, as you can see right here, but if I'm taking a sip of water, I can kind of jump up and down and do this. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with simplicity. There really isn't. There's nothing wrong with repetition. It just has to be done well. And I got to admit, of all the arcade games I've played, this one's probably not my favorite, but it's not the worst either. It's faithful to the source material. It does hold my interest in terms of the action. I just wish there was a bit more variety. In terms of the henchmen, the level design's fantastic. Every level's different. Every level has its own different theme. And even the overall path to the boss feels different. It just... Man, that hurt. I am not paying attention. Come on. Get in the game, man. It's crunch time. I would have liked to have seen this game, though, released on the Super Nintendo, or, well, I guess it would have had to been the Sega Genesis. I would have liked to have seen a version of this released at a home console. I think it would have been good. I think especially, don't forget, folks, I am judging this game, but I'm judging it in the year 2019. And I believe this game came out in 1993. So, oh boy, here we go. This might be the final boss. Ooh. I like this, though. It's a little bit different. It's different than the other bosses. It's not just punching and kicking the guy. There is a... It feels like a final boss. You know, remember back in the day, especially old Nintendo games like that. A lot of it would be repetitious, repetition, but the final boss would always be something cool, and that's what you strive to see. It wasn't just beating the game. You were happy just to see the final boss. And that's what this reminds me of here. This is kind of cool. And now that I've praised it, I'm going to destroy it. Boom! Now learn what it means to face true power. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Ooh, one shot. And I have a feeling that this is the actual final boss of the game. Unless it's another robot, in which case, damn you, Sega. Damn you. Spiderman. I love the animation on his cape, flapping in the wind. They got everything right. They really did. They got everything right in terms of the main villains. And Spider-Man himself. There we go. Boom. So close. There he is. He's done. Oh, nope, he's back up. My destiny is mine to decide. What? Holy crap. Everything just kind of came down. Whoa, what's going on? Can that hurt me? Oh, that did. Ooh, this is hurting. That's alright, though. This is exactly what you want to see in a final boss. He's challenging. He's menacing. He makes you feel bad about yourself. But when we defeat him, and oh yes, we will, it'll be oh so sweet. I can't get the pattern down though. He's so random. Oh, dude. But again, that was the point of these kind of games. You were not meant to beat these games. You were meant to get as far as you could, empty your pockets, and then go home and beg your parents for more, so you could come back and do it the next day. And once you beat the game, chances are you wouldn't do that again. So they made these games almost impossible for us kids. There we go. He's down. Bow before me, for I am Almighty Spiderman. It's over. Oh! Look who's back. Holy crap, there's more. There's 3 of them. Yeah, there's 3. I was going to say, thought I saw 3. But which one's the real one? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. If it hollers, let it go. I'm gonna make venom, all 3 of them, my hoe. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Mess him up. Spider-Man fighting like a fat kid who lost his lunch money. He's like, man, let's go. I want my sandwich. Oh, where's your friends now? Where's your friends now? There they are. Whoops. I'm gonna knock them over like some bowling pins. Crack-a-whack. That's the sound of my fist going through your face. There it goes. Okay. Whew, I think it's over. I think that was it. They called it the final battle, but I'm not going to trust it until I see the ending credits. Yeah, baby. There we go. And Dr. Doom's castle has been destroyed. Doom's castle burns in the distance. The battle is over. However, in your heart, you believe that Doom is bound to return one day. But should that day come, you know you're going to be there to foil his evil designs. After all, that's what being a superhero is all about, isn't it? Alright guys, and that was Spider-Man, the arcade game. Alright. Presented by Sega Enterprises, Ltd. Well, an overall fun experience. I know I had a few things to say about it, but overall I'd say it was fun. Enter my things here. And so yeah, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around till the end of it. We did it, folks. We ended Spider-Man Arcade. A fun little trip into the early 90s of gaming history. I'm the Silvered Grunion, and thank you very much for joining me here today. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.